Hey guys, Vernon Croy here from DocSports.com for Tuesday, September 16th, 2025. Going to get to the Croy's baseball report here in just a moment. First of all, give the video a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button below. I definitely appreciate your time as always. Now, we are coming off a terrific Monday. We went 2-0 with my premium plays. We went 5-2 this football week, up over $2,000 in profits. I have had 9 out of 10 winning NFL regular seasons. If you haven't already done so, make sure that you get my football package right here exclusively at DocSports.com. In fact, if you use promo code Montana, all capitals Montana, you can save 10% off any daily, weekly, monthly, or seasonal package of mine right here exclusively at DocSports.com. I did cash my 7-unit NFL play once again. Make sure that you get my football package right here exclusively at DocSports.com. Now, moving on here to the baseball report. First of all, I do want to discuss a little bit of issue here. We're on a 10-0 WNBA run, good for $4,800 in profits. Think about that, 10-0, 10 wins, 0 losses, the last 10 WNBA plays. I do have my 8-unit WNBA Game of the Year going here Tuesday. Get it right here exclusively at DocSports.com. I absolutely love this play. I believe it cashes hands down. Get it right here exclusively at DocSports.com. Now let's get on to the Croy's baseball report for Tuesday. Your first matchup is between the Atlanta Braves and Washington Nationals. Atlanta's favored here. They should be. They have lefty on the mound, Suarez. I like the pitching matchup for Atlanta. We're taking the Atlanta Braves. This is actually a 1 p.m. start. Hopefully I get this video out in time. We're taking the Atlanta Braves minus 150 over the Washington Nationals. Your next matchup, we can't do the Chicago Cubs-Pittsburgh game as I have a premium play in that game. It's a 4-unit premium play. I am 3-1 with my last 4 Major League Baseball plays. Get the pick right here exclusively at DocSports.com. Moving on, we're taking the Atlanta Braves and Washington Nationals in the late game. It's the second game of the doubleheader. We're looking at a lefty-on-lefty matchup. It's Sale against Gore. Sale's obviously the better pitcher. There's no value there. Atlanta's favored minus 190. You know what? We're taking the Washington Nationals on the run line in the second half of that doubleheader, plus 1.5, minus 110. Moving on to the next matchup, we're looking at San Diego Padres against New York Mets. Padres have King on the mound against Holmes. I do like Holmes in this matchup. I believe that New York's the better overall team. We're taking the New York Mets on the money line, minus 120 over the San Diego Padres. Moving on to your next matchup, it's between the Cincinnati Reds and St. Louis Cardinals. Cincinnati has Abbott on the mound, the lefty. They're currently favored. The line opened up at minus 111. Now we're seeing minus 125, as high as that. I do like Cincinnati in this spot. We're taking the Cincinnati Reds on the money line, minus 125 over the St. Louis Cardinals. Moving on to your next matchup, we're looking at the Miami Marlins against Colorado Rockies. Miami has Perez on the mound against Freeland for Colorado, the lefty. I do like the value with Colorado in this matchup. I do like Freeland. We're taking Colorado plus 122 over the Miami Marlins. Moving on to your next matchups between the San Francisco Giants and Arizona Diamondbacks. San Francisco has Beck on the mound against Rodriguez, the lefty for Arizona. I think the wrong team's favored here. I do like San Francisco. I like the value of them, so we're taking the San Francisco Giants on the money line, plus 110 over the Arizona Diamondbacks. Moving on to your next matchup between the Philadelphia Phillies and Los Angeles Dodgers. Philadelphia has Sanchez on the mound, lefty against Ohtani. We're getting a short price with Ohtani on the mound, I gotta tell you. We're looking at minus 135. You can't go against that. We're taking the Los Angeles Dodgers on the money line, minus 135 over the Philadelphia Phillies. Moving on to your next matchup, we're going to the American League, and we're looking at the Cleveland Guardians against Detroit Tigers. Cleveland has Cantillo on the mound against Mize. I actually like Cleveland a lot in this spot with the lefty on the mound. We're getting tremendous value with them here today, I believe. So we're taking the Cleveland Guardians on the money line, plus 120 over the Detroit Tigers. Moving on to your next matchup against, we're looking at the Athletics and Boston Red Sox. Boston's heavily favored in this game. They should be. It's a lefty on lefty matchup. Boston has struggled against lefties this season. You know what? We're taking the dog here. We're taking the Athletics on the money line, plus 140 over the Boston Red Sox. Moving on to your next matchup between Toronto Blue Jays and Tampa Bay Rays. Jays send Berrios to the mound. Tampa has Pepiot. We're basically looking at a pick 'em. It's basically even money, minus 110. Berrios has struggled overall this season. He's probably the Jays' worst pitcher in that lineup. Pepiot is a good pitcher. We're taking the Tampa Bay Rays on the money line, minus 110 over the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, moving on to your next matchups between the Seattle Mariners and Kansas City Royals. Seattle sends Gilbert to the mound against Waka. Seattle does have the superior pitcher on the mound here tonight. We're taking the Seattle Mariners on the money line, minus 140 over the Kansas City Royals. Moving on to your next matchup between the Baltimore Orioles and Chicago White Sox. Baltimore sends Kramer to the mound against Smith. Chicago has been playing very good baseball lately. However, Baltimore is the superior team, and I do like Kramer on the mound. We're taking the Baltimore Orioles on the money line, minus 110 over the Chicago White Sox. Moving on to your next matchup between the New York Yankees and Minnesota Twins. New York sends Schittler to the mound against Matthews. New York's playing for something, obviously. Minnesota's out of it. I still think Minnesota puts up a good fight in this game. I love the value with Matthews. I think he's the better pitcher on the mound here tonight, so we're taking the Minnesota Twins on the money line, plus 130 over the New York Yankees. Your next matchups between the Texas Rangers and Houston Astros is Battle of Texas. Texas sends Kelly to the mound against Bluba. I like the Houston Astros at home here tonight. We're taking them on the money line, plus 104 over the Texas Rangers. Your final matchup is between the Los Angeles Angels and Milwaukee Brewers. It's in Milwaukee. Angels send Dana to the mound against Peralta. Obviously, Milwaukee's a superior team. They should take care of business, especially at home. So we're taking the Milwaukee Brewers on the money line, minus 1.5. Actually, we're taking them on the run line, minus 1.5, minus 120 over the Los Angeles Angels. Now, make sure that you post in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this prediction for Tuesday. Give the video a big thumbs up. Thanks for your time, as always. In winning, Vernon Croy.